Asked about the evidence uncovered by the police at the scene, the lawyer said, I mean, obviously, these things were found there. How they got there, we don't know. Actually, we do. We do know. They killed a lot of people, and then they got shot by the cops. That we know. He says, the lawyer went on to say, there were a lot of questions drawn with Sandy Hook and whether or not this was a real incident or not. Okay, now we're just through the looking glass. Now we're just through the looking glass. And we're with the false flaggers. We are with the false flaggers. The insanely aggressive, hyper-contemptuous, verbally abusive people who scream at everyone that they're just too dumb to understand that things didn't happen. Things didn't happen. I don't know if this is people in general who have no capacity to react with positivity, sympathy, empathy, love, concern, grief to any human tragedy, and because their own emotional inability to feel sympathy for the victims of murder and terrorism means that they react with rage whenever anyone else is sad, whatever kind of messed up mentality that is. I can't even imagine if they were raised by staple guns and a 2x4. I don't even know. But this idea that in the midst of human grief and people genuinely dying and people genuinely bleeding out while trying to hug someone with their last breath of life, the idea, well, it just didn't happen and you're a stupid asshole shill for the New World Order for imagining that it did, is like, wow, you are horrible human beings. Beyond horrible. At least jackals and crows and vultures get some nutrition from the bodies they feed from. They don't just hang around and haunt their bodies like ghosts of crazed projection of your own lack of empathy. Dear God, maybe it never happened at all. How can you believe it? Ah! You people give me the shudders and the vapors and ah! Oh, I mean, hey, I'm fine for skepticism. I really, really am. I'm fine for skepticism. But you got to provide a hell of a lot of proof. The more extraordinary the claim, the more extraordinary the evidence is required. And it's like, I don't think the angles could go that way. And there'd be more blood when you shot someone because I played GTA and that's what's on my graphics card. And oh, man. Oh, God. People are dead. People are grieving. Shut up. Shut up and go away, you unbelievable black hole-hearted scumbags preying upon the misery of others to further your own screwed up agendas. Go away. It is I love what the internet has done in terms of being able to communicate to people. I hate what the internet has done in terms of being able to communicate to people.
And you cannot bow down to somebody being offended.
No.
This is really, really important. You can be curious and say, well, look, I'm sorry that you're offended. I mean, that's a shame and so on. It has no bearing on the content of what it is that I'm talking about, and I'm happy to talk about why you're offended. But you cannot give in to bullying in this life. You cannot give in to people just being offended. Otherwise, you're feeding the worst and most manipulative squid tentacles of brain-sucking estrogen-based mind vampirism that society has to offer. You can't do it. I mean, be curious and all that, but the fact that you're offended is interesting to me. But you can't possibly change your behavior based upon people being offended. No. Whatever you feed grows in your life, and whatever you starve dies. And you need to starve people changing your behavior because they're upset. That is not good for them, and it's not good for you at all.